Hi, guys. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Welcome. So I was like, mind you, it's Friday night. Apologize, I only got one video out today. I was busy doing some administrative stuff for the back end of my visit on the back end of the business, the stuff that you don't see out here. And so I only got one video out, but I was actually prepping this afternoon for a stream that I thought I would do just on like random fundies. I was spending some time digging through the Fundy Snark board on Reddit, and I was getting introduced to some fundies that I had forgotten about or didn't forget about or were forgetting about. I can't remember. And I was getting all of this ready, and then all of a sudden I jumped over to Twitter and I noticed that literally everyone was like going off about Trisha, Jeffree, Hair by Jay, James Charles. Everyone is like freaking out. It's like this massive mess. So I go over to Trisha's channel. They're like, oh my gosh, Trisha just uploaded. Trisha just went off. Trisha went off on Jeffree. And the whole thing is an utter mess, complete and utter mess. So I was trying to spend some time like getting this all ready for you guys. I have as much screenshots as I can get. I'm also not going to give I'm not going to show Jay's video because honestly, Jay's video is so vile. So if you are not familiar with what happened, here's how it goes. So last week, Trisha did a video where she was basically talking about some wigs that she had made by Jeffree Star's stylist, Hair by Jay, who makes wigs and does all of Jeffree's wigs. He's one of Jeffree's best friends. He travels with Jeffree. He was like just literally in Wyoming with Jeffree. He's basically with Jeffree all the time. And so she was talking about how she had him make some wigs for her and she felt like he overcharged her. And he was responding on an Instagram live where he was talking about Trisha. And in the Instagram live where he was talking about Trisha, he got really vile. Like it was, the I'm scared is Trisha saying that. I'm sorry. In the chat, she said, what are you even scared about? It's not about you. It's supposed to be Trisha that's scared. Did I not put that in quotes? It's in quotes as if Trisha said it. So anyways, so Trisha, he's going off on Trisha on this Instagram live. He's calling her all kinds of names. Like he's going after her skin. He's calling her a whale. He's talking about how much she eats. He's talking about how she should just be grateful. How he went on his trip with Jeffree Star and they went to Vegas and, you know, Jeffree paid for a private jet and a suite and blah, 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 blah. And so, you know, Trisha should just like shut up and deal with it. And because Trisha over the past year has kind of vocalized a little bit about what she experienced when she traveled with him, which she said and unleashed in this video is that Jeffree and his friends were awful to her. And when she's watching the video that Jay makes, it's clear how awful they are because the way that he speaks, on this video, is horrific. And nothing happened to my other channel. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so the way that he speaks about her in this video is horrific. So Trisha, he does this Instagram live. It gets re-uploaded into 2 parts onto YouTube. So some like random sock account puts it up on YouTube, which by the way, like I don't, this is because we are using Streamlabs. So it's Streamlabs. Okay. So anyways, it's not like my video production. It's when I stream through Streamlabs, the production overwhelmingly is not great. Anyways, I'm going to close out the chat because I don't want to get distracted here. Okay. So she uploads a video. So Jay does this like nasty reaction and then she uploads a video, and I'm going to pop this in to start sharing it with you because her, in this video, she starts like, she shows what he's saying about her, and it's really bad. Like,
we talked about your skin, bitch. Your fucking skin looks like shit till this day, a whole year later, bitch. And they were making fun of my skin, and I thought we were friends. I thought we were cool. I should have talked about it and all that shit. Let me tell you something. Stupid. I went to go see Mariah Carey first fucking row because that person paid for my ticket.
So he's basically like going off on her because he says that she should just be grateful that she was invited and she shouldn't complain because Jeffree effing Star basically paid for everything and she's just being ungrateful.
To go see her. He paid for the car services.
So I mean, imagine you're with friends and just because they paid for something, you are literally just supposed to put up with it. You're supposed to put up with the verbal, you know, lashings. You're supposed to put up with them shaming your weight. You're supposed to put up with them, you know, slapping your hand if you want to eat. Also, to be fair, Trisha never said anything at first. It was this guy that exposed Jeffree Star. Yes, like she was literally just like repeating what he said. But this is really sad. It's like she's scared. You know, it's so bad.
Watching the full hair by day video, I posted something on my vlog channel how I just saw like a clip of this guy. Like, this is Jeffree Star's like wig guy, and also his friend. He took him to Wyoming like just a few days ago. Like they're the type of people that were being so awful to me on this Vegas trip a year ago. I think watching this is so triggering for so many reasons. I'm actually shaking this one.
So she's like so upset because she says that they were like basically so cruel to her that when she was there, she would want to eat and they would tell her not to eat. They would make fun of her skin. They were, you know, mocking the fact that she had bought certain things, that she was boring. They weren't inviting her to certain things. They were leaving her out. And it's like, why would you like, and so this guy's justification is, well, he paid for it. So I don't know why he brings it up now, but anyways, this is just awful.
I did have 3 suicide attempts, which really ended in a mental hospital. And the fact that Jeffree and him and Boom and all those people like talk and mock about this stuff, it's like makes me shake. And it is disgusting. I see the comments like Rylan boasting him up, boasting how great Jeffree is and everything. Like he's an actual mocker and trying to keep it in for so long, but this is the kind of mean shit, mean girl behavior.
So here's the thing that I think is good in here is that Ryland and Shane are supposed to be her best friends, and they've been best friends for like 6-7 years, right? And what really makes me feel bad for her is that she was friends with them, Shane, before Shane was friends with Jeffree. And so Jeffree comes in and he treats Trisha like crap. He's mean to her, and Shane will literally not get in the middle of it, won't stick up for her, won't defend her. But when Shane was getting canceled this summer, who was the one that was like riding so hard for him, even though nobody would ride for him? Like, who was like pounding her fists in the sand being like, what you guys did to Shane is not okay. He's a good person. This isn't blah, blah, blah. You know, and she's the one that's like, she put her like neck out for him. And Shane has said nothing, not a thing. He has like This girl was like his ride or die. She was his best friend. She's going to be like supposed to be officiating his wedding with Ryland. And he still has said nothing.
He admits to talking shit about my skin. And I stayed quiet because there were way more serious issues regarding Jeffree and stuff, and I really didn't want to be that person to be like, you know, he's an awful person or whatever, but they were like awful. No, going aside from the wig stuff, you know, he does show that he said, oh, Jeffree's period or whatever, like, and he, like, fuck the wig stuff, but the fact that, like, this is the kind of people, and, like, seeing it out there all.
Like, so. She was upset too because on top of all of this, Ryland had Jeffree Star on their podcast. I think it was this week. If you're having issues with the quality, streaming has been there's been some issues with just regular streaming. You can always reload, but there's nothing actually like wrong with the stream. It's more like it could just be on the YouTube end of it. So she was upset. I haven't seen Ryland say anything. There's nothing on Twitter. I checked their Instagrams earlier and I didn't see anything from either of Shane or Ryland. So if Ryland has said something, I haven't seen it. Nope. Nothing on Twitter, nothing on Instagram. And so she's like so upset about this. She's like, they're so cruel to her.
It's like so triggering, and I know he'll like make fun of this, and then I'm a walrus, and I like go killing myself, but it's just like insane to me that people, because he goes on in the video to say like the house I live in now is rented. I never said I owned it, which you know that was their mean girl stuff that I couldn't afford, stuff that they threw away Balenciaga in the trash, that they gave away a bag to Rich Lux, that they would have given me a camera. Like there were so many worse things going on, and he's like, you were boarding time and all this shit, and it's just because I didn't want to go out. He doesn't show the DMs I sent prior asking how much the freaking wigs are to go into this. Is like so, it's so triggering, and like I just don't want to like.
It's, you know, I know that Trisha's problematic in her own right, but to be honest, like Trisha, for the most part, this past year, I feel like has been doing a lot of growth. She's in a really stable relationship now. And I think she's in like a much better place now, where I feel like her relationship with Moses is kind of helping her really see how toxic some of these people are around her. Has she been perfect? No. But I do think that Trisha's trying to grow. Do I love Trisha and everything that she does? No. But in this specific case, I think this is awful. If you have friends, no matter who your friends are, if they make you feel bad because you have less money than them, if they think that it's okay to treat you a certain type of way because you're, you know, like you are being like, I can treat you however I want because I'm paying for you. I can treat you however I want because I bought you this and I gave you this. Just be glad that I invited you. So, and if she spoke bad about his business, it might be because of he spoke bad, disparagingly about his business. Well, maybe she spoke bad about his business by the way that he treats people. I mean, if this is how he treats people, how he treated her in that video, imagine what he says when he's not on camera. If that's like what he's saying on, well, I guess A Plain View doesn't like Trish. That's fine. A lot of people don't like Trish, but this is not a I hate Trish channel. So we try to keep things objective.
Hide behind this anymore, like these videos, like
Okay. To go steeper. He paid for the car service. Okay? I got to get the fuck out of my fucking house and fucking show your fucking disfigured ass pussy.
Disfigured ass. Oh my gosh.
I'm like just renting my house, just mean, petty, mean girl shit. Jeffree and his group are mean girl shit, and I'm so tired of people just like defending him and supporting him because this is
gets me is that her best friend sees that this is what people are saying, and like that he hasn't stood up for her. Jeffree says that Shane needs to stand up for Trish in this. Trisha always has stood up for him, and if she doesn't do something, that really shows his true colors. She's incoherent and upset. She sounds like she's having some sort of triggered response, but yeah, she needs to stay away from them for sure. And she does keep going back. And I think she's just one of those friends that's like so loyal. And she's been pretty open this past year about having, you know, she's got borderline personality disorder, I think. And so I think she's talked about how she's has a hard time walking away from people because she's like so afraid of being abandoned. So sometimes I like wonder if that means like she'll just put up with a bunch of crap. She talked about like the cost of the wigs, I think. I think that was it. I watched the video, but he was so over the top and so like, it was so over the top.
And I'm scared. I am scared. Jay is constantly making threats on here. He said in real life that he would like beat the shit out of people. Like it's scary as shit. I'm terrified of this shit. We'll never want to hang out with you guys. You guys are disgusting.
You know, and I know Jeffree has a thing that
No, bitch.
like
I kid you not. If they called her right now, if Jeffree called her right now, or we called her right now, hey, come hang out with us tomorrow, she'll come.
Jeffree has called me multiple times and I refuse to talk. I texted him and said I need time to process. I need space. I will never want to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, she never called him out by name. She just said he was overpriced, which she's allowed to have an opinion. So imagine you have an opinion that somebody's overpriced, right? And they take to their Instagram to literally threaten, demean, berate, and humiliate you. It's just like, it's so out of line and it's so, I mean, it's awful.
Disgusting and you're mean and this is mean. The fact that Jeffree supports him and anyone who supports Jeffree is awful. Like these are awful people.
I feel like this is like the most honest she's ever been. And I feel like people don't like Trisha, and they say that Trisha lies, but I feel like when Trisha gets into these specific situations, she is being honest. And I feel like she's in a better place right now where she's like, honestly, like, and he was like talking about how, you know, she makes all of her money off of talking about people. And to be frank, like, I don't know if you watch Trisha. Everyone that watches this channel knows that I'm a subscriber of hers and I'm not like a fangirl of hers. I just love to watch her eat. But I don't like tune into Trisha because I want to listen to her talk about the tea. I genuinely just find her voice, like when she's not crying, like relaxing, and I can like work out to her. Or I can just like have it on in the background. I've heard people say that about my voice, and that's kind of how I feel about Trisha. Like she can eat her food, and I feel like I'm hanging out with a friend while she's talking. But this to me is like her really, truly. Yeah, and she did keep her mouth shut. Like she really didn't say very much. She was trying to be like respectful. And I think
I have my own problems. I do. I am not perfect, but I am not a nasty person to other people like this. Because I was cool with Jay. I was cool with him. I never mentioned him by name. I did have an issue with him charging me $1,000 more than wigs normally cost. And I was just out of nowhere when I asked him days and days prior, like how much, and that was my issue. And it made me feel kind of some type of way that he only charged me when I got back from the trip and not beforehand, like he always did. And I always paid him up front. He shows me, I like, can't even watch this anymore.
I think she didn't understand. He said in his video that the charges weren't for the wigs. The charges were for like doing her hair. but she seemed to think that she only owed him money for the wigs. Anyways.
They said so many worse things while they were at the club without me. Like, they're at a club trying to, like, have fun, and they're talking shit and being so nasty.
And in, like, what context is a business owner like Jeffree, who markets to young girls and women, is it appropriate for these men to berate a woman? And then he tries to call her. Like, while he's live, he tries to call her.
No. At this point, her confidence is not that low, because if her confidence was low, she wouldn't. No, I can't, because how I'm gonna get a phone now. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get.
I'm not kidding when I say I'm, like, genuinely scared. I was just dissatisfied with the service. And that's it. I was nice. I was polite.
I actually agree with this. Like, I'm not a fan of Trish, but at some point she needs a break from the bullying. Her life could be a lot better if she changed the company she keeps. It's okay to move away from the toxic people. I honestly feel like this is what she's trying to do, because she took to TikTok after this, and I'll show you. After all of this happens, she basically says that, like, he threatens her. She calls out Shane and Ryland and is basically like, I've had your back. Like, I can't believe you've never said anything. I can't believe you've never been there for me. Like, why couldn't you? Like, you had him on your podcast. They just had him on the podcast this week. She's like, why? Like, I've done so much for you guys. You can't even, like, stand up for me. And I kind of felt like in that moment, it was like this time where it was like, she's so loyal to him that it was like her moment to finally just be like, Shane, like, what the F? Like, I've done so much for you. I've done so much for you. I've done so much for your, like, you know, for you as a friend that you literally can't stand up for me. Like, that actually breaks my heart. Like, if you're somebody's friend, even if you have another friend that's not in the middle of it, you should still stand up for her, especially like if they're body shaming her. I mean, come on. Shane Dawson, the man who's constantly like talks about how he has an eating disorder and how insecure he feels. He of anyone should know how it feels to have someone shame them. And Trisha, for her part, even though she has gained weight and even though she struggles with eating, does her best every single day to be body positive, which is something I respect about her as a woman. I respect a woman that gets up, does her thing, goes and gets pretty, and tries to put out positive, feelings about her body. We need more women showing us that example. We don't need to be making her feel bad because she's not up to your, being super skinny standards. Correct. Like, she's the only one that stood up for Shane. She's the only one that's been there for Shane. Shane just continues to show what a crappy human being he is. And while all this is going on, Jeffree does his merchandise. He was on a couple days ago on his Instagram promoting his new merchandise, or, we're in a restock, whatever. Before this all goes on, though, I want to show you some of the things that happened on Twitter. Hold on. Let me pull this down. So Jeffree got, like, unbothered, acting like, I'll pull up the whole thing, actually. Give me a second here. He says, I have personally apologized. Where is it? I have personally apologized to Trisha several times this past year about Vegas, and she never responded, which is her right. I respected it, and what happened is between us. Don't drag me into new drama. Not interested. What someone else says does not represent me. But I actually don't buy this, because how possibly can he say that it doesn't represent him when this is like the guy that travels for her, right? Like, he's always with her. And then she says, if you didn't want to be involved in the drama, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Are you able to see what I'm showing you? She said, if you didn't want to be involved in the drama, why is he speaking your name in the video on your behalf, confirming all the horrid shit you guys said about me? I have been cool, but he is speaking on your behalf multiple times in the video. And then he said, like, I've been in Wyoming. When people were like pushing back at him, I've been in Wyoming and I had no idea what was going on, just catching up. And I am horrified by what he said. Let's not pretend I had any part of it. He also said that I already said my piece to her, and if she ever wants to call or text me back, she will. What Jay said on live was effing disgusting and does not reflect how I've ever felt. I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm screaming it. And then, like, he's just acting like somehow this man that literally works with him, travels with him, you know that Jeffree is saying this. She said, if you didn't want to be involved in drama, why is he speaking on your name on your behalf? So in the middle of all of this, Trisha also does like 37 TikToks. So people are like dragging Jeffree, right? They're like, Jeffree, what you're doing is not okay. Like, of course, this is your fault. And I honestly like do think that when it comes down to it, like he is responsible for it, right? Like, this is a man that is traveling with him. This is someone that's like his best friend. What's going on with I don't see any trolling. Just, I don't know I don't have any moderators here, do I? Okay. So Trisha then went to her TikTok to talk about it. And I heard someone say this is trauma, not tea. I do think this is valid because she says in her video repeatedly, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, is because she says repeatedly in her video that she feels so scared to speak out because everyone that speaks out against him gets canceled. And everyone that does anything gets canceled. So then she took to TikTok.
Bitch, I will destroy you, bitch. By the time I'm done with you, you're gonna look anorexic. Well, I can't call her on my phone because this is a clip. No, I can't because they how I get a phone.
I'm honestly like just so scared. scared because he used to break all the time that he like F people up and that he was gonna F me up, and I'm just like scared. Guys, I'm saying this because I've never had a serious threat like this before online. The video is really graphic, his Instagram live, and I'm sharing this just if anything does happen. This is hair-wrenching. Again, this is from my security guard outside. Obviously, we're doubling up security, but he did see them yesterday. And I guess all I can do is call cops next time we see him because they're...
So she says that her cops, like the cops saw him out, or her security guards saw him outside her house, like looking at her cars. And honestly, like a lot of people were saying like this should have just been handled offline, but I kind of understand why she's doing this publicly. She has a lot less subscribers than Jeffree, and they have given Jeffree so much power that he feels like he can treat anyone any type of way. Everyone around him, including Jay, enables this behavior by saying he paid for you, he gave you some stuff, he did nice things, as though paying for someone means I paid for you so I can treat you like trash. I paid for you so I can shame how you look. I paid for you so I can mock what you look like. I paid for you so I can go after your appearance. I paid for you, I can call you boring. I mean, that's not how it works. If you pay for someone, money doesn't give you a right to treat people like garbage. And she has 5 million subscribers. Jeffree has 17 million subscribers. He has a $200 million business. If she does this offline, he can easily manipulate this. The only way that she can do this is doing it publicly so that people know what happens. Jeffree says he has nothing to do with it, but it can't be a coincidence that whenever something crazy happens, there always is someone involved who is directly connected to Jeffree Star. Exactly.
Threat made about me online, but it's just really scary when they're unhinged. I never had someone with so much hatred. Like, know where I live. He doxed my phone number on this live that was re-uploaded. He doxed my company name, and now he's showing up to my house. And I really hope that this is just nothing and it's just empty threats, but I'm actually really terrified. But it's just like I'm scared. To clarify, I paid him. He showed the receipt. I paid him. My issue was that I just felt a little overcharged in the way that he was, aggressively asking me for it after I asked him. That was the issue, but he has been paid. I always pay people. That's not the issue. To clarify, I paid him. He or comes by my house or takes pictures. But he knew this behavior from Jeffree. And
so it says, Jeffree is saying to people that this is what I heard through the grapevine, is that you left the bag in the store because you were high and the jet was paid for because you were high on drugs and Jeffree wanted you safe. I just wanted you to be aware that Jeffree's telling everyone this. Never tell, and I never told anyone. This is from Paige. So his argument is that I paid for you to go home on a private jet because you were high. And she says that that's not true.
That he was saying this shit about me. There's a video of another guy that wasn't on the payroll that was on that trip with us that has also backed up this story. I wasn't high. I wasn't on drugs at all. It's all very triggering. It's all very triggering, but I just want it all out there. Like, Jeffree's an awful person. This is proved now by the people around him closest saying this stuff. So if you're hearing the front driveway thing, sorry, that's what's happening. Everyone's just like installing new stuff and shit hits the fan and apologize. Honestly, it does get so, like, you start getting paranoid about that. They just made me feel like a lot better. Like, it really does bring into question when I go for bat and defend people so hard.
Paige is a drama channel. She's like Petty Page, I think is her channel. Is that what it is, you guys? Is it Petty Page? She's like on and off. She'll take breaks. She's been on kind of a break. Petty Page, I think is who she was getting it from, Alyssa.
And shit hits the fan and people know about this shit, but last year when this shit was happening to me in real life and nobody comes to my defense, nobody says anything, and I am so grateful for H3 for like defending me and stuff like that, because honestly it does get so, like, you start getting paranoid. You're like, wait, this person is supposed to be my best friend, this person is supposed to be my life, but they're nowhere to be found when I'm in shit.
Like, she's talking to Shane directly. I will say this about H3. I don't always agree with everything he says, but he is like one of the only larger channels that will ever call these people out. He's like a lot of people like fawn over Keemstar, and Keemstar drives me crazy because Keemstar like will defend Jeffree because he can get the scoop from Jeffree. He will defend bad behavior because it'll give him the scoop. He will say awful comments about things, and then H3 will go up there and be like, this is terrible, this is awful, this is bad. So you've got Ethan going up there who, you know, they do the podcast together, but where is Shane? Where is Shane to be there for her? It's really sad. And Moses was on his way home, she said, during this whole time.
I mean, that they know what's happened. They know the truth of it. And it's so frustrating. And I'm so sick of protecting people and defending people. And I'm done with it. I am so done with it. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore because there's some shitty people. And like going on the issue, it just made me sick. I didn't want to make, Shane and Jeffree's friendship. I don't want for giving their opinion on something, for saying how they feel about something, for how they wrongfully treat. I've been polite, I've been respectful, I've been like holding myself back because I didn't want to step on toes. I didn't want to make, Shane and Jeffree's friendship. I don't want to strain on that or whatever, blah, blah, blah bullshit. I don't give a fuck anymore. This person is speaking on Jeffree's behalf. This person is saying this is what Jeffree endorses. He's with Jeffree on all the trips in Wyoming, all the stuff. This person Jay has never had my address, and all of a sudden he's showing up to my house. He has my address and he's showing up to my house. He's doxing me, my phone number, my Wyoming. We saw that in the Kanye video. Like, he's admitting all this stuff that your other friend told me. I forget his name, the other guy we hung out with in Vegas. I can go get those videos. I can get the videos. I can get all the stuff of you saying shit. He's with you in Wyoming. You're currently in Wyoming. He's with you in Wyoming. We saw that in the Kanye video. Unhinged or something like that. Like they probably talk shit about me. They probably continue to. I know Jeffree, that's just what he does. He just talks shit about people and he'll never stop, and that's just who he is. So I'll give him that, and we had some good moments, and it just like showed his true colors, and I just try to keep my space. And I was scared of him. I was scared of the backlash. I was scared of him. I was scared of being canceled. I was scared of what is happening now. And
so overwhelmingly, she's like, what I think is good here is that she's actually calling Shane out, that like, where are you when I need you? I've done so much for you to protect your image. And I think like most important to me about all of this is that there's a subset of YouTubers that want to control all of YouTube. They think because they have the power and the money that they get to dictate what everyone else says and does. And if you don't go with their narrative, they're going to punish you and make your life hell. There are YouTubers that do this, like Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, but Jeffree is probably the most notorious, but there's others that do this as well. You better go with my narrative. Do not mess with my money train. Do not tell the truth or I'll hurt you. And they consistently will do this to smaller channels that they know they have more power over, and they flex their fact that they have their money to keep them silent. And that's the kind of behavior that I saw in all of this. That's not okay. Even though she has money in her own right, using your fame and power to intimidate others and then using other people to do your dirty work, to smear people's names because somebody doesn't want to go with your narrative is horrible. And this is what Jeffree does. Like, you're not going to stay on my train, so I'm going to smear you. You're not going on, you're not going to do this, so I'm going to make your life hell. I'm going to treat you like crap. I'm going to get my friends to talk bad about you. I'm not going to say the things, but everyone else around me is going to say these things about you. And what pisses me off about Jeffree doing this stuff is that you've got Jeffree who has young girls that are buying from him, and he's shaming women and their weight. How do you have such pettiness in your soul? Your target market are teen girls. Teen girls. And this is how you're going to talk about women. And then you, like, it doesn't make sense to me. If you want to sell products, be nice to the people. And he says he's body inclusive and he accepts everyone. Bull crap. He's proven it over and over and over again that he isn't inclusive, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, he's shown over and over and over again that he's not the nicest person in general. He's just nasty. He's mean. At the end of the day, you ordered a Jeffree tracksuit and they sent me a 3X. Clearly, they were trying to empty the leftover stuff. And when I said something, I waited too long. They waited too long and I couldn't help. Jeffree has no sense of what a friend. He's disgusting. Yes. No, you are not hidden. Jeffree is such a bad person that he has so much money and power. He doesn't deserve any of it because he abuses it. So the question is so he has all this money and power on YouTube. Then you have other creators that support the narrative, that play to his games, that are on the payroll, you know, and he can dictate what everyone thinks and feels about people. And he doesn't upload very much anymore. But when does he come back? He always comes back to sell products because he needs YouTube to sell his products. He needs his YouTube channel to sell his products. He relies on YouTube as a platform to launch his products. It's literally the only reason he comes back anymore. So it's just really, it's just disconcerting. All right. So what are your guys' thoughts about all of this? Are you on team? I feel like he was low-key trying to gaslight Trisha on Twitter, trying to make her feel like she was making a big deal about it. I feel bad for her. I agree with this, Alyssa. I think he walked into this and tried to pretend like he didn't create this, like he didn't start the fire, like he didn't ignite everything, and then just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. The way Jeffree responded to her on Trisha was so condescending. Exactly. When I was a teen, we did not have drama in the makeup aisle at the grocery store. LOL. This is true. This is very true. It seems to me like she's just trying to air some grievances. Maybe she's triggered. Who knows? She says that Trisha was bullied by them. Trisha was bullied by them, says Juliana. I think they are all problematic. The drama is exhausting. This is true. Carissa says, I just feel so bad for Trisha because she thought these people were her friends at one point, and she probably feels so alone right now. Phoenix says, I've never been a Trisha fan, but so over men treating women like with disrespect over their weight and looks. That's what I don't like. Like, I don't like that men just, these guys are just so nasty about women. It's like, you want us to buy your products, but you're going to be petty and cruel about her skin. Like, her skin is like something that she is so self-conscious about, and she talks about it all the time on her channel. She does, like, she goes to dermatologists. She has like all these different skin problems, And like, you're going to just like go up there and be like, your skin is just so much worse, as though she has control over her skin. Trisha has been holding on to this, and she has every right to call out Jeffree. He needs to be called out. If you have to go on social media, YouTube, to let people know you have a new launch, then you aren't successful in the makeup industry. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, his industry is contingent on YouTube and the following he has here. And he has 17 million that follow him. And the sad thing is that there are some people that don't care what he says, what he does. They're going to do it no matter what. They've gotten so comfortable talking about things they shouldn't be talking about. Yeah, I just don't think that you need to be diminishing, like, fat shaming. It's so bad. Real men don't treat women how Jeffree Star does. Exactly. Shelby says she's one of the only YouTubers that has publicly shown and discussed her acne for the last 5 years or so. I've watched her. Exactly. And she's extremely self-conscious about it. She's very, open about it. You don't have to always like what she says, but let's see. I'm not a fan of Jeffree Star because I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and it doesn't help to have negative people in your life. 17 million followers, mainly youngsters, looking up to a man that disrespects women of weight, skin issues, like, seriously isn't an idol. Exactly. He is a creation of MySpace. This is 100% sure. Well, I'm not going to tell you guys who to follow and who not to follow. Obviously, don't bring anyone hate. That's a part of the story. I did note that Hair by Jay has privated his Instagram. So I feel like it's just, why does he exist in this vacuum where he's never truly, like, held to a standard that anybody else is? What is it about Jeffree that he can continue to do this type of, do this all? Pretend like he's not doing this. Pretend like he's not a part of this drama. Pretend like he's not fat shaming and, throwing money at people and acting like, well, I own you, so I can say whatever I want. I mean, that's the most demeaning thing that you can do to people. And honestly, it proves to me in a way that you can have all the money in the world. You can have $200 million. Millions, right? But you cannot buy happiness. You cannot be happy inside of your soul, even with $200 million. So you can have all that money and you can have your huge house, but at the end of the day, you're still alone, you're still miserable, and you're still resorting to fat shaming. I struggle with acne. It's a real kick in the teeth hearing a major creator talking about how people with skin. Yeah, exactly. Remember him fueling Dramageddon more than once? He keeps doing this stuff. I know. I'm on team just be a good person. I'm with this one too. Like, just be nicer to people. Oh, you like this shirt? Actually, I think I bought this at Lulu. I got it at Lulu's. It's like my new favorite store. I think I spilled something on it though. But yeah, it's like a comfy sweatshirt. And you guys, my son got me dinosaur leggings. Can you see? My son got me dinosaur leggings. Okay. Jeffree is literally lucky he eats whatever he wants and does not gain weight, right? He must have a new makeup line coming out. Jeffree is really unhappy if he has to really keep putting people down. Shane needs to stand up for Trisha if he doesn't. Exactly. If he doesn't stand up for her, he needs to. He needs to. No, just Lulu's. It's Lulus, not like Lululemon, or Lulumon. It's Lulu. Trisha has done the same. This is karma for Trisha. Why does Instagram allow this stuff, though? They don't take reports seriously. Yeah, I'm blocked on Instagram right now for literally reporting on what happened last week at the Capitol. But he can go on his Instagram and say all that nasty stuff. I can't post, I can't go live on Instagram, but he can do that. It's ridiculous. Isn't it exactly like them? I don't know. She paints herself as the victim when she's done the same thing to others. Two wrongs don't make a right. I hope Shane doesn't. Makeup gurus should empathize with their clients and help them. Isn't that the point? If somebody's a makeup artist, why should they be mocking someone's skin when so many people that use makeup use it because of their skin? They want to, they want to hide their imperfections. They want to feel normal. They want to feel I just think of one of my best friend actually in college had really bad skin. She would get really red, sort of cystic type acne. And she would just sit there and cry, And I remember thinking she would spend all this time trying to get ready and her skin would just be so red and patchy and she would get so upset. And it's if you're a makeup person, you want to help that person who just wants their face to look even. They just want to go out and feel normal, presentable, not insecure. You feel like it's karma for her. Jeffree had made Shane way too much money for Shane to ever stand up for Trisha against Trish. Exactly. I think it comes down to 100%. I do think it comes down to that Jeffree does his clothing. And so he's never going to stand up he's not going to stand up for Trisha. He won't, because Jeffree does his clothing line. But Jay doesn't do makeup, only hair. I agree he has terrible, awful things, but he's not a makeup person. He does hair. But when you mock someone's skin as a makeup brand, what are you saying about your potential customers that buy your makeup products that have the same type of skin? You just subscribed. Love your vibe. Thank you. Jeffree's is Shane's last string keeping him alive. He will never cross him unless it benefits him somehow. I think so too. If Shane wants to have a good comeback, he needs to ditch Jeffree Star and stack up for Trisha. I think so too. Does anyone actually, I know there's people that don't like Trisha, and there's a lot of you, but are any of you in the camp that you think Trisha has been actually taking steps to do better? Here's a sign to me of her growth is she got into that huge fight with Ethan and they came back and worked it out. I feel like before, the old Trisha would have just cut him off, had the outburst, and been done. But she didn't do that this time. And I feel like that's a huge difference. I feel like I've seen so many changes with her in the past year. I have rosacea and it's horrible alongside acne. I use makeup to make me feel more confident with myself. So hearing this crap, I can't actually believe it. I think that's what my friend had was rosacea. I love Trisha. I feel like she's trying to do better for sure. Maddie says yes. Yeah, the fact that she stands by her friends no matter what. I've been following her since 2012. She's been growing so much. Yes, she's doing great. Trisha has 100 started doing better herself this year. I feel like Trisha has been taking more accountability the past year. Trisha has come leaps and bounds in her maturity. H3 has been supportive, which is true. I do not. I think she's trying to land a baby and a husband. Once she gets that, she'll be out. Oh, I think that's actually so cruel. I think she and Moses are actually super happy, honestly. So I think Moses is a good stabilizing force for her. I think he shows her that regardless of what's going on in their lives, he will be there for her. He will support her. He will love her. It's sort of that unconditional. She is trying for sure. Regardless of her actions in the past, nobody should be talked about like this. And I think sometimes we justify when people are put down and we say, well, that's just karma. I don't think you should ever say that's just karma, because even if someone's terrible, you shouldn't be like, yeah, that's okay. Like if someone went on a homophobic rampage at Jeffree Star, I would be outraged. That's not okay. It's not okay to spew hate speech at Jeffree Star just because he's a terrible person. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be okay with that. I think you can tell the steps she's taking to move forward. Never been a huge fan, but she gives hope to those wanting to better themselves about making mistakes. I think she's just tired of pretending for views. I think this is probably the most real she's been this past year than she's been ever. Where is Shane? Exactly. People judge her on her BPD outbursts, and that's all they focus on. Exactly. Like she has so many people like focus on all of her outbursts, but they actually like forget that, like, you know, she gets triggered, she blows up, and then she calms down. But I think right now this was a true reflection of just like how she's feeling. And I hope she like never has to hear those kind of comments again. And I don't think any woman should have to hear those kind of comments. I don't think there's any place for those kind of comments. It's one thing to be silly and goofy and be like, oh, I don't like the shirt you're wearing or whatever. But to literally get so like you're a whale and your skin is nasty and you're ratchet and your boobs are bad and your butt and your like, he was just going off. It was like bad. Trisha needs friends like H3, not Shane. She defended Shane so much and he's done nothing for her except let her take the fall. Exactly. I feel like Ethan would stand up for her regardless. Like Ethan and Ela have shown a lot of patience with her. They have been they've shown a lot of like understanding. And at times they've tried to, you know, do the best that they can to manage her outbursts. But I feel like they do their best to work with her because now they understand that she's going to be family. And I think, you know, I was so happy they got engaged. It's good to see her happy, but seeing this tonight, it's hard to watch, but it's eye-opening because no one deserves that degrading comments. And she's literally scared. And that's what makes my heart hurt. H3 is showing what true friendship looks like. Exactly. They're there for you in the good times and the bad times. And you know, I'll tell you something about YouTube. This is the honest truth. When you're down and everyone makes money trashing you and there's this massive hate train behind you like Trisha, if you stick up for her, all her haters go to you and be like, I can't believe you're sticking up for Trisha. I can't believe you actually like Trisha. Because everyone wants to make Trisha the bad guy because that's what gets them views, you know? And I've never gone that route with her. And I think we need more of like, you can call out problematic behavior, but I don't think your whole channel or anything should be like one single creator is a bad person. I don't know. Like, I feel like some people with Trisha just take it so far. It's so mean. Yeah, they keep the foot on the net instead of coddling her when she messes up. Exactly. You love Ethan. She defends Shane and blames other YouTubers for dating young people. Such hypocrisy, though. I'm so done. I saw the best tweet that said, I love Trish and I'm not hiding it anymore. You know, I had to like come out a couple months ago. People on my channel know that I like her. that doesn't mean I condone all of her behavior. That doesn't mean I condone all of her actions. That doesn't mean I support everything she does. But I do see a person that's trying. I also see a person that's relentlessly bullied and targeted. And I don't like when that happens to people. And I would much rather be on the side of, I don't want to pile on, so I'm not going to. She's expected to be problematic because she even says she plays a character. This whole situation is so personal and just evil. The real Trisha probably isn't as problematic as her character. I think we are starting to actually see the real Trisha. And she has been talking about that on her vlogs channel. Like if you are on her vlog channel and you watch her vlog channel, like she's been talking a lot about how she's just like completely stripped down. She's not playing a character anymore. This is just like who she is. When she's like with Moses, that's like who she is. She's not pretending anymore. And I think part of that is like confusing people. I hate that so many people make hate videos about you. It's crazy and too much. She needs to be allowed to just be happy. Exactly. All right. Haters at some point will get the same treatment. Bullying in these videos is not okay. All right. Everyone that, everyone can easily get on the other side of it. So all you can do when you're in the situation is put your best foot forward and try to focus on the positive, try to focus on the people that, the subscribers that will care for you. Remember that even when you're in your lowest point, there will always be people cheering you on. And I truly believe in a situation like this, like she doesn't need more people. She doesn't need more people to like pile on her. She just needs more people to support her. She takes criticism without blocking people. Well, I will block as many people as I want to. And any creator can block as many people as they want to. Blocking people is a right. No creator has to take abusive comments, period. And this I find to be a completely irrelevant point. If she wanted to block 3,000 people, she can. If she wanted to block 8,000 people, she can. All right. I'm glad. And I say, if you have a channel and you want to block out comments, do it. You don't have to deal with trolls on your channel. You don't have to deal with abusive comments. You don't have to deal with people being cruel to you. You don't have to deal with people being trying to bait you and make you go off. You don't. You don't have to deal with trolls. You can just delete them and block them. And then they'll cry about you deleting and blocking. But to be honest, like you can do whatever you want. YouTube gives you the right to do whatever you need. I've been bullied on YouTube before and then told me nasty things. It doesn't help your mental state, even if people are shouting that at her. Correct. I mean, I've gone through a tiny fraction of what Trisha has gone through, and it's horrifying when people are spinning things, right? Criticism is not trolling. I'm so sick of hearing this argument. No, sometimes people are trolling. And I have a right on my own channel to manage things as I want to. But I don't want to get derailed about the haters taking over here. So I've allowed you guys to have an open chat. And I think for the most part, I block my wife. I think there's people that give criticism, but I think, you can do whatever you want. And if you have a problem with it, just don't be mean to creators. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you're talking to another Katie. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is not about me. This is about Trisha. I'm saying that Trisha is a polarizing creator. You either love her or you hate her. I am of the opinion that when somebody starts to take steps in their lives and try to do better in their lives and try to strip back the veil, we should be applauding that. Yes, I block and I'm proud to. I have a standard and it means I won't let it be I won't be a doormat. Nobody should. I'm proud of you, Katie. Exactly. You just bought Trisha's book last week. Well, you have to let me know how it is. It is my channel. Okay. So this was actually a really fun live. Do you want more content like this? I've done a lot of stuff on Trisha in the past, but sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not totally into this. They can give criticism without being disrespectful. Some people don't understand that and revert into being buttholes for no reason. And this is true. Like, you don't have to, people think they're being nice when they're giving criticism. And there's this entitlement thing with subscribers where they feel like if you don't take their criticism, then you're not doing what they want. At the end of the day, nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to do anything that they don't want to do. And nobody has to listen to things that they don't want to listen to. And just because, there's freedom of speech doesn't mean that on a private platform that a creator has to listen to people berating them or not being supportive or being rude. I think every channel has a right to dictate what they do on their own channel. And if a subscriber doesn't like it, you just move on to somebody else that you can support or whatever. It's really not that hard. I love this kind of live. The tea was so good. Good. I think creators can block whoever they want, just like a store can refuse you without a mask. Exactly. What other YouTubers or topics have you been working on? I know this is old, but have you followed Susan? No. I'm honestly... This is true. Blocking is a form of self-care. Reading toxic comments isn't good for your mental health. It's not. Thank you for the open chat. I enjoyed being able to interact with everybody today. I want to be able to keep more and more chats open. Katie, you're an inspiration to what a kind woman is. Kind, strong woman is much needed in this world, and this is absolutely fabulous. First of all, I'm not always nice. I'm not. I can be a bitch, and I can also stand up for myself. And I think, we should stop, like, when women stand up for themselves. This is another thing that drives me nuts, is we should, when women stand up for themselves, stop acting like they are losing it or their mental health is somehow dwindling or they're over the edge. Like, if you push people and push them and push them and push them, and they finally say enough and show you their boundaries and say, I'm not going to take it anymore, that's not someone losing it. It's someone saying, I'm done, right? And it's okay for people to set those boundaries. All right. You love the open chats. Believe it or not, I have a snarky side too, even though Kiki will probably disagree with that. All right, so I am going to be going over onto my other channel probably here in a little bit to just do like a live. I'm going to do it from my phone downstairs where I'll be able to interact with you a little bit more. I want to just this is at an hour. But if you have not subscribed to my second channel, let me see if I can just get you that link. My second channel has been infiltrated by mostly haters that think it's their place to be cruel and rude. So I would love people to actually subscribe over there that don't want to be cruel or rude and honestly just want to get to know me on a different level, which is not always about tea. I talk about just being a mom over there, being a person. I'm going to put this out there. You are a special woman. God bless. Thank you so much for your super chat. That was my wow. I didn't even notice. That was my first super chat of the night. I never knew how funny you were. Oh, well, if you only listen to hate things, I'm actually kind of a goofball. Am I going to do a call-in tomorrow? Probably, yes. So here is my other channel. I will do a call-in on, so Saturday nights on this channel, we always do call-ins. So last Saturday night, and it's not really a call-in, we do a, you can join the stream kind of thing. So what did we talk about last week? I can't even remember. I don't know. We did cancel culture a few weeks ago. I'm always being canceled, so get used to it. And yeah. I will be doing this tomorrow, and then you don't want to miss it. So I just shared my link to my channel down there. You can subscribe. I'll be back over here. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do. No, that's not. I'm on my main channel right now. I'm on Without a Crystal Ball right now. I don't know. That other channel has so many haters. I have a really low, like 199 members option over there. All right. So I'll be back in a little while. Bye, guys.